While Europe, Asia, or North America often dominate conversations about economic success, African nations like Ghana are increasingly noteworthy. Situated next to Burkina Faso, Ghana stands out as Africa's largest gold producer and the sixth worldwide. Despite a relatively modest GDP per capita of $6,500, which just trails behind Ivory Coast, Ghana has shown remarkable growth and stability. It is often seen as a model for other African countries. However, recent political and economic upheavals reminiscent of Latin American crises are now casting shadows over its achievements. Before moving forward, make sure to subscribe to the African Web and ring the bell icon so you do not miss out on more insightful stories like this one from around the continent. How did Ghana become an exemplary model for Africa? What troubles are currently casting a shadow over this nation? Is Ghana's situation unique, or is history repeating itself across what is often considered the least understood continent? Today, we delve into these questions, starting with a bit of history. Despite the common perceptions of Africa plagued by hunger, war, drought, and poverty, not all African nations share the same story. Like many, following its independence in 1957, Ghana faced turmoil, including dictatorship and military coups. The nation struggled under these regimes, hindered by corruption and inefficiency, barely supported by its gold and cocoa industries. A significant shift occurred in 1981 with another coup, bringing Jerry Rawlings to power, who dramatically transformed the economy. Ghana was in a financial crisis, and Rawlings turned to the International Monetary Fund for aid, a decision that proved effective. Under his leadership, Ghana saw extensive economic reforms, reduced public spending, the elimination of many price controls, currency devaluation to boost exports, and a vast privatization of state-controlled sectors like cocoa and coffee. These changes spurred consistent economic growth, with the country enjoying nearly 3 decades of stability and increasing prosperity, even discovering a significant oil field in 2017, boosting its resource-based economy further. This historical perspective shows Ghana's journey from instability to becoming a beacon of growth in Africa, underscored by strategic economic reforms and significant international cooperation. Despite decades of economic growth, nearly a quarter of Ghana's population remains impoverished. This ongoing issue can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, while Ghana has achieved some economic milestones, these successes have not been substantial enough to transform the broader economy significantly. Unlike Vietnam, Ghana hasn't attracted significant international capital or undergone massive industrialization that could generate high-value jobs. Instead, the country has developed mostly low-value, commercial businesses that improve the economic situation incrementally but lack the impact needed for a rapid transformation. Furthermore, educational shortcomings continue to hinder progress. As of 2010, about 30% of Ghanaians lacked basic literacy, a critical barrier to developing a skilled workforce capable of driving more complex industries. This educational gap sets Ghana apart from countries like South Korea, China, and Vietnam, where educational advancements preceded economic booms. On the positive side, Ghana has shown political stability rare in the region. Since re-establishing democracy in 1992, Ghana has experienced peaceful transfers of power, including its first in 2001, marking it as a model of democratic governance in Africa. Despite these political successes and some level of economic stability, the lack of high-value industrial development and ongoing educational challenges continue to impede significant poverty reduction. Despite Ghana's notable economic growth and political stability that garnered international praise, the country faced a looming economic crisis. As the story of Ghana's economic success unfolded, an underlying issue of increasing national debt began to overshadow its achievements. This debt issue highlights a universal truth: all good things come to an end, and this end can either be abrupt or gradual. For Ghana, the downturn was gradual but still harsh. The situation worsened under former President Mahama, who took office in 2012. During his tenure, falling commodity prices led to decreased revenue, exacerbating the public deficit, a common scenario in many nations. Consequently, Ghana sought assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, once again to navigate these challenging economic waters. The end of Ghana's period of economic prosperity was confirmed under President Nana Akufo-Addo, despite initial optimism about his leadership. Initially, Akufo-Addo's administration seemed promising, successfully reducing inflation from 15% in 2017 to less than 8% by 2019, and similarly decreasing the country's budget deficit. Early indicators suggested the economy was on the path to recovery. However, the situation quickly complicated as Akufo-Addo's government introduced significant tax cuts while simultaneously ramping up social spending, including initiatives such as free secondary education and a $1 billion project to build 111 hospitals. This increased spending, coupled with the financial strain of $100 million investment in building the National Cathedral, was initially supported by public funds. The unforeseen arrival of the pandemic exacerbated the fiscal situation, leading to a sharp decline in revenue while expenses surged. This scenario mirrors the ghost of debt that has plagued many Latin American countries, where economic growth is often driven by increasing public debt. By 2021, Ghana's strategy of reducing taxes and boosting government expenditure, compounded by the pandemic's impact, led to a substantial 40-point increase in the ratio of public debt to GDP over 3 years, signaling a severe economic downturn. Ghana's economic situation has seen significant shifts since the beginning of the century. At that time, the nation enjoyed a period of stability and growth, but today, challenges such as high inflation, escalating debt, and external economic pressures have complicated its financial landscape. Currently, Ghana is grappling with an economic crisis exacerbated by high inflation rates, which peaked at around 54% in December 2022 before decreasing to 23% by December 2023. The nation's fiscal health is stressed, with a public debt that surged due to expansive government spending and lessened revenues during global economic slowdowns. In 2022, Ghana's economy grew by just 3.3%, a significant decline from previous years, impacted by global financial conditions and internal inefficiencies. In response to these challenges, Ghana secured a $3 billion arrangement with the IMF aimed at stabilizing the economy. The program has shown some success. Economic stabilization signs are emerging, with authorities making headway in reform implementation and fiscal consolidation. This includes efforts to enhance revenue collection and streamline expenditures, critical steps towards ensuring long-term fiscal sustainability. Looking ahead, the World Bank projects that Ghana's economy might not fully recover until 2025, highlighting the severe impacts of inflation on poverty and food security. The recovery path involves stringent financial and structural reforms to foster a more resilient economic environment conducive to growth and equitable wealth distribution. Overall, while there are signs of progress, achieving lasting economic stability will require continuous and committed reform efforts, alongside careful management of both domestic and external economic pressures. The journey towards recovery is underway, with the government actively working to mitigate the impacts and set the stage for future prosperity. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Subscribe to our channel for more updates and discussions on topics like this. Your support helps us keep delivering content that matters to you.